Hello students, we are doing chapter number 1 population and sample from statistic. Okay, in last lecture we were doing population and sample. Okay, so I have given you general idea regarding the population and the sample. Now in today's class we are going to study these topics in detail. Okay, in order to study a group of a large number of items, we require to draw a sample. We use the technique of a sampling several times in everyday life. Okay. So if you have to do a research, okay, on the large amount of a sample, then we use one technique which is called as a sampling. Okay. So you will collect a small part from that huge population. That small part is called as sample. For example, while purchasing a food grains, we inspect only the handful of grains and they draw a conclusion about the whole sack. Okay, so if you want to buy a rice, wheat, etc., any grains, okay, then what you will do, you will, is it possible as to check the entire sack of that grain? No, we will take the handful of a grain, okay, and then we will draw its conclusion whether it is good or bad. Okay, so what you will do, you will just take a sample from that whole population. So the grain sack will be your what? Suppose this is a rice sack. It will be your population, and out of that you will take a handful grain. Okay, some handful grain. It will be your sample. Okay. So this is a real life example where you use the sampling method. Now the second one is, similarly, while examining the blood of an individual, okay, which I have given you in the last lecture, okay, this example I have given you in the last lecture. So the few drops are the enough for the diagnosis. Okay, so if you want to do a certain blood test, so a few drops of blood will be considered as a sample. Quality of a milk is attested with the help of a small quantity of a milk taken in the can instead of entire milk in it. Okay. Then the sampling is a well accepted means of collecting information. Moreover, it is a believed to be a scientific and the objective procedure of selecting items. Sampling plays a very important role in a statistic interference. Okay. So now we will see the definition of a population. This was the introduction of population and sample. Now we will see the definition of a population. Okay. So in the technique language of a statistic, the word population is used in somewhat a wider sense. It does not mean only a human population. Okay. So in a technical language of a statistic, the word population is used in somewhat in the wider range. Okay. It does not mean only the human population. So here the population doesn't mean the human population. So here the population can be anything. Okay. It can be rice, it can be blood, it can be anything. So it is a population is used in a wider sense. For example, in the study of industrial development, all the industries under the consideration is a population. Okay. So if you want to do some research over the industrial development, then all the industries will be comes under the population. Okay. In the study of a socio-economic conditions of a particular village, all the families, okay, are come under the population. So these are the various examples where the huge entire data can be considered as a population. So it is not a human, it can be anything. Okay. So in the study of agriculture yield, all the cultivated farm together will be population. In the titration experiment solution, in the beaker is a population. Thus the population may be a group of employees, collection of books, total industrial production, a group of a person suffering from a particular disease, collection of explosive, group of students. It can be anything. Okay. So the definition is, Definition of the population is an aggregate of objects or a individual under the study is called population or the universe. So what is this? It is an aggregate. Aggregate of objects or individual under studies is called population. Okay, so the population is what? It is an aggregate of an object or it is an aggregate of individual which comes under the study. Okay, population may contain a finite or the infinite element. So the population can be finite or it can be infinite. Okay, for example, blood samples. Okay, so the blood sample is a sample, but the entire body's blood is an infinite, because we know that we can't count how many drops will be there in our body, okay, of blood. So the next is accordingly it is called as an finite or infinite population. Okay, now the statistical population. We define the population as an aggregate of object or individual. However, many times we record some quantitative or the qualitative characteristic of each member in the population. These observations are collectively called as a statistical population. Thus, in the further study, we will be interested in the statistical population. So, sometimes we do the research where the various qualitative and the quantitative. Quantitative means it can be count, and the qualitative means it is a characteristic, okay, of that element. Suppose we are doing the research on the intelligent question intelligent questions level. Okay, so here we are checking some qualitative. Okay, we are checking some characteristic of a individual. So this data is what? It is a qualitative data. But if you want to do a research on the marks of the exam, that means you can count that marks. So it is called a quantitative data. So there are two types of data, quantitative and the qualitative, that we will see later on. Okay. So sometimes the statistic has a population, okay, of quantitative and the qualitative characteristic. Okay, so that type of population is called statistic population. And from now onwards, we will see the statistical population only. In order to study the population, one of the ways to collect the information about each and every element in the population, this method is called census or the complete enumeration. Okay, so if you want to do a study, if you want to do a research regarding that population, it is necessary to collect the information about the each and every, okay, element in that population, and that method is called census. Okay, जिसमें हम लोग सभी जितने भी एलिमेंट्स है उसके बारे में डेटा कलेक्ट करेंगे. दैट मेथड इज कॉल्ड सेंसस एंड द एन्यूमरेशन. जो ओल्डन डेज में वो मेथड यूज होता था, बट नाउ डेज सेंसस इतना यूजफुल नहीं है, बिकॉज इट रिक्वायर्स टाइम ऑल्सो, इट रिक्वायर्स मोर मैन पावर. ओके, after every 10 years, the population census of India is conducted. In this census, the information regarding every individual is collected. Okay, so this is one of the method of doing the research, in which the entire elements in that population is checked. Okay, but this method has various limitation. सेंसस की बहुत सारी लिमिटेशन है, बिकॉज इट इज वेरी टाइम कंज्यूमिंग. ओके, इट नीड्स मोर मैन पावर, देन इट इज वेरी एक्सपेंसिव. ओके, so that we will see. So next point is a limitation of a census method. So the next point is limitation of a census method. So the first disadvantage or the limitation is census method provides a reliable result, okay, but due to the voluminous work it is expensive, time consuming, and it requires a large amount of manpower. Okay, even though this method gives you a accurate answer, okay, but it is very expensive, it needs a manpower and it is very time consuming, क्योंकि इसमें जितने भी एलिमेंट्स है सभी का डेटा कलेक्ट करना होता है, so it is very time consuming. Second limitation is there are some situations where the census is possible but impracticable. Okay, impracticable. For example, testing the blood of an individual. So, can you do checking or the investigation of an entire body blood? No. So, it is very impractical. Okay. Now, in this case, the entire blood cannot be tested. Thus, the census cannot be used here. So, this is an example where you cannot use the census method. Similarly, in the testing explosive, testing of the average life of a bulb produced in the lot, testing of a strength of a construction material, census method cannot be used. Okay. Now, the third limitation is if the population is infinite, census cannot be used. Okay, so if you have a huge amount of data, so using of census cannot be possible there. That's why there is another method of doing research which is called sample. Okay, sampling. So sampling is what? It is a collection of a small part from that huge population. So the next point is what? A sampling. Okay. In order to overcome the limitation of a census, sampling is used. In this case, some representative items are selected from the population. So, there are some representative, okay, which can represent the huge entire population, okay, and with the help of that representative, one can do the research, so that all the important characteristics of the population are covered in the item of this group. Such group is called a sample and the method of selecting the sample is called sampling. Okay. So, what do you mean by sample? Sample is what? Sample is what? It is a small group, okay, which is taken from the entire population, which also gives us an important characteristic of a population is called a sample. Okay, it is called a sample and the method of selecting sample is called sampling. This is the method. Okay, method of selecting sample is called sampling. So the definition of a sample is any part of a population under the study is a sample. Okay, so the simple definition is any part of population under study is called as a sample, and method of selecting sample is a sampling. Okay, so there are various examples which is given on page number 1.7 of the population and the sample that we will see one by one. Okay, so the first is while purchasing food grains, we inspect only the handful grains, okay, and they draw the conclusion about the quality of the whole lot. Here the handful grains is a sample and the whole lot is a population. While second example is while examining blood of an individual, a few drops are taken out of the human body, okay, then these drops are called as a sample and the entire body blood is called a population. Okay, for third example is for testing a quality of a milk, a small quantity of a milk is tested, okay, and here the quantity of a milk used for the testing is called sample and the entire milk in the blood bulk is called population. The fourth one is Fourth example is a housewife confirms whether the food is properly cooked or not with the help of a few particles taken out from the container. Okay, we will check, we will taste that whatever we have cooked in the kitchen, we can test whether it is good, whether it is cooked good or not by just tasting a few particles from it. Okay, so clearly the food in the container is a population, and the 2 or 3 particles which is taken out for the checking is called as a sample. Okay, so these are the various examples where the sampling procedure is used. Okay, now sampling is a well accepted means of collecting information. It is believed to be scientific and the objective procedure of selecting items. Thus, sampling plays the important role in the further statistical analysis. Okay. Now, next we will see the advantages of a sampling over the census. And it was asked in April 2009, this question. Define the advantages of a sampling over the census. Okay. Okay, so there are 4 application advantages, okay, which are given in your textbook, which is on page number 1.8. Okay, so the first advantages of sampling is a reduced time. Reduced time. Okay. So as compared to census, sample consists of a less number of elements, hence there is a considerable reduction in the time. The result can be obtained quickly due to the time saved in the data collection and the further analysis. Second is what? Reduced cost. Third one is a greater accuracy. Okay, so these are 4 advantages of a sampling. So the first one is it requires a less time. Okay, the second one is reduce cost. There is a reduction in the cost, okay, both in the terms of the time and the manpower. Since we have to do the only research regarding the small elements from the huge population, so the less manpower will be needed. Okay, so therefore जितना मैन पावर कम होगा कॉस्टिंग भी उतना कम होगा, therefore it reduce the cost. Okay, so the sampling method is always economical, it is less expensive. Then the greater accuracy, as compared to census, only the limited number of elements are to be processed, therefore machinery, well trained staff and the sophisticated machinery, well trained staff can be used and accuracy can be increased. Okay, since a sophisticated machinery and the well trained staff is used, therefore the accuracy, chance of getting accuracy is more, okay, in this method. Now the fourth one is greater scope. If a population is infinite or the too large, okay, or the cost per unit is too high, so census is not possible there. Okay, so if testing is destructive, that is element gets destroyed in the analysis, sampling is only the alternative method which can available. Okay, so here there are 2 reasons where the great scope of this sampling method is high, okay, over the census. The first one is if the population is infinite, you cannot use census method there. And the second one is if there is a chance of an elements can get destroyed, then there in that situation the sampling is very useful. Okay, so these are the four sampling advantages is given. Okay, it is on page number 1.8. Just go through it. Now we will see the sampling unit. Now we will see the sampling unit. Okay, what is sampling unit is. Members or the elements of the population are called sampling unit. Okay, so suppose you have the whole population and the member in that. So this is your population. Okay, and this is called a unit, sampling unit, or it is called element, or it is called a member. Okay, so the member or the element of the population are called sampling unit. In the sampling process, population is divided in the small units which are called sampling units. Okay, for example, in a socio-economic surveys, a family is a sampling unit, whereas in a health survey an individual will be a sampling unit. So if you want to do any socio-economic survey, any socio-economic research, then the entire families will be considered as a, this is family 1, family 2, family 3, and I'll draw like this. Suppose this is family 1 having 4 members. This is family 2 having 3 members. This is family 3 having 5 members. This is family 4 having 6 members. Okay, so if you are doing a socio-economic survey, then this entire family will be considered as your sampling unit, because you have to collect the data, okay, from the family. But if you want to do some medical survey, then the small unit will be the individual in that family, because every time you have to do research on the each member, right? Now sampling unit together must cover the entire population. In other words, sampling unit is smallest part of a population which cannot be further subdivided, okay, for the set purpose. Now the next is a sampling frame. The next point is a sampling frame. So it is an exhaustive list of all the members or the elements of a population. Sampling frame gives the guidelines to cover all the entire population. The frame should be up to date and suitable for the purpose of survey and inquiry. So what is sampling frame? It is an exhaustive list of all the members or the elements of the population. So it is a list of all the members which includes in that population. Okay, and that frame should be up to date, it should be updated, okay, and suitable for the entire population. Okay, now in next topic we will see the sample, okay, and the selection of the samples. So generally samples can be selected in the two ways. So the first is deliberate selection of items or the non-random sampling, and the second method is a random sampling. This is the very important method, okay, for the selection of sample. So here we will see the methods for the selection of sample, okay, or sample. So the sample can be selected in the two ways. So the first way is deliberate selection, okay, or non-random. and the second one is a random sampling. These are methods of selection. So a sample can be selected, okay, in the two ways. The first one is a deliberate selection or the non-random sampling, okay, and the second one is a random sampling. So we'll see these 2 points, okay, one by one. In this method, in the first method, deliberate selection of items, okay, the investigator select the elements in any manner which is suitable to him. He will, the investigator or the researcher can select, okay, the elements in any manner. जैसा उसको लगता है उसके हिसाब से he will select the elements. For example, he may select the elements on the first come first served basis, okay. Then he can also select, okay, so the first method is to select element is what it can choose like the first come first served basis. जो पहले है उसको select कर दो. This method is unscientific. It may produce the unreliable result. There is a likelihood of a partiality view in this method, okay. So the partiality can also be done in this method. क्योंकि यहाँ पे the investigator has a right to choose any element from that population, okay. So the figure collected in this way do not obey the statistical law or the laws of probability. Hence, such data will not be useful for the further analysis and the interpretation. To avoid such problems, another method is used. So this is not very useful method. In this method, investigator can select any element from huge population. Okay, so this is not very reliable. Therefore, we will always use the random sampling method. Okay, so we will see what is random sampling. In this method, the selection of a units in the sample is done impartially. So there is no chance of the partiality. Personal or any kind of bias in selection is avoided, okay, in random sampling. So there is no personal, okay, there is no any other kind of bias will be there, okay. So there is no chance of partiality in this type of selection. So further, if each unit has an equal chance of selection, then the sample is called simple random sampling, okay. So in this method, if you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units in your sample, okay. So every unit, every member in that population has an equal chance, equal probability of getting selected. सभी को equal chance देंगे, okay. So that type of sampling is called random sampling, okay, and this is also called simple random sampling. Every element has an equal chance of getting selected. Okay, so this is very useful method of sampling. Further, if discussion regarding the needs of the randomness and how to achieve it is included in the later part, okay. So we will stop over here till random sampling. In next class, we will see how the randomness is very important for the selection method of a sampling, okay, and then we will see the methods of achieving the randomness, okay, how this can be done. The different methods are there that we will see in the next class.